Kiefer High School. I'm Kate Capello.
And I'm Danica Borza.
Welcome to another episode of Alumni Spotlight, where we feature a special graduate each month and see what they're doing today. Today we're joined by Crystal Williams, also known as Crystal Cologne, a proud graduate of the class of 2010. It's so nice of you to join us today. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
Good. Tell us a little about your experience at KHS. What was it like to be a student at that time?
Well, I was very focused on my academics, so I graduated salutatorian of the class. It was a very small town school. It was a very close-knit group. Everyone knew each other. I was involved in the National Honor Society, and we did things with Drama Club. It was good.
That's good to hear.
So some of the courses I remember taking, one of my favorite courses I remember taking actually was pretty much all of my English courses. So never mind, not one, just all of my English courses, especially with Mrs. Sprode. I really, really loved writing at the time. I was very involved in creative writing for myself, and so that kind of gave me that outlet to do that. I also remember all of my AP classes that were enough to drive us all insane. But in my English class, my English AP class, I was able to earn some credits for college, so that was really good.
From what we understand, you work with mental health. Can you explain more on that?
Yes, absolutely. So I work as a case manager for a supportive housing program through Easter Seals, New Jersey. The program I work for is in Monmouth County, but we have programs all over New Jersey. What I do is I work with adults with severe mental illness, who a lot of them have had really, really rough paths to being an adult, so they haven't really been able to live by themselves, and so this program helps them with subsidized housing and case management services to teach them the skills that maybe nobody gave them the chance to learn.
How did you choose this path?
I went into school thinking that I wanted to be a teacher, actually, but I really wanted to help people, so, teachers throughout the course of high school were very helpful, so I thought maybe being a teacher, but then I found psychology. I really, really was interested in the mind and why people did things that they did, and how our experiences and our traumas and things like that affect who we are today. So when I started to study that, I knew exactly that I wanted to help people and that I was interested in the mind. I had no idea what I wanted to do with that. I got my bachelor's in psychology, and my first job out of college that hired without really any experience in the field was in a group home for for adults with severe mental illness. And it was a 24-hour setting, so they were supervised 24 hours. It was my first time ever working with the population, but I fell in love with it. I fell in love with it because it's a population that is just like us, except they're diagnosed with a mental health condition. And there's so many misconceptions about what mental health is and what mental illness is. And when you get to know these people, they're just like us. They just haven't really had a chance in life because of their diagnosis. So when I fell in love with that, I decided to take the next step and become a case manager. That was the next step after that level of being a residential counselor.
That's so interesting. What did you do to further your education after Kiefer High School?
So I went to Fairleigh Dickinson University in Teaneck, and I got my bachelor's in psychology. And I guess being a nerd, I guess I would say, all my life, I swore I would never go back to school. I really did. I was like, a bachelor's is fine. That is it. But then I realized that in order to be in this field and really make an impact, you have to get more education. You have to go and get your at least master's degree in order for you to really be able to move up and impact more people. So when I became a case manager, it took until last year to go back for my master's. So I'm now in a master's program for rehabilitation counseling with Rutgers, and I love it. I mean, I had to find my passion to really be motivated to go back to school, and I think it's okay to do that. I think it's okay to explore and experience and see what you like to do before spending the money on going back to school.
What is your favorite thing about being a case manager?
Oh, my favorite thing are the success stories. I have had people, I had one case I think that will stick with me forever, and it was a young girl, not much younger than me actually, who she was adopted, but because of her untreated mental illness, her adopted family was no longer a part of her life. She was pretty much alone. She had ended up in a psychiatric hospital and linked to us through that, because a lot of our cases do come from psychiatric hospitals. And so she had so much motivation, but not really opportunity. So she was struggling a lot with her mental illness even after the hospital. She wouldn't really take her medication, but then she did. She started to take her medication, and her whole entire life turned around. She started driving. She went back to school. She actually graduated from Brookdale to go into the mental health field. And she moved out. She moved out of our program, and she got her own place. She is living her best life right now. So success stories like that, giving them that opportunity to grow, that's what I love about the job.
What are your duties and responsibilities of a case manager?
What aren't they is the better question. You're just everything. Your tasks are whatever the clients need. So it's about assessing where they are, assessing what would help them, and they all have recovery goals, so helping them towards their recovery goals.
Is there anything we haven't covered that you feel the students of Keyboard High School should know about you and your interest in becoming a case manager?
I think that my interest of psychology and of mental illness is that it wasn't really talked about a lot. I think we're coming to a time where it is talked about, and you don't have to ignore how you feel. You can get treatment. There are so many resources out there. I've actually helped family members get linked to resources because of what I've learned through this job. And I think that we're just coming to a time where mental illness is being looked at as something that you can recover from, rather than something that ruins your life and you can't achieve your goals if you have mental illness. So I think that that's my biggest thing. That's what I preach to everybody, is that mental illness doesn't end your life.
That is all the time that we have for today, and the crew of TV Club would like to personally thank you for your time, which we know is so precious. Thank you for joining us, Crystal.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching.